Hey everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. If you don't already know, my name is Janet and today we're going to have fun. I know I've been telling you we were going to do the beef jerky. Some of you didn't believe me, but we're doing it today. I've got everything all ready to go. So let's take a look at the marinade because that's what you need to start with. I went ahead and measured out some of the ingredients because I didn't want to bore you silly and y'all just click right off of this channel. But this is the recipe. Can y'all see that? So if you need to take a screenshot, go ahead and pause it and screenshot it or pause it and write it down. Go ahead, I'll wait. Alright, let's look at what we've got. In this cup, I have 1/2 cup of Worcestershire sauce. And here I have 1/4 cup of Dale's and 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Here we have paprika, and for the measurement on this you need 1 tablespoon. Then 2 teaspoons of ground pepper. Why is that bowl wet? Ugh, gross. Hold on. Sorry about that. There was soy sauce on that cup. So the 2 teaspoons of ground pepper. Then we need 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and these are the Korean red pepper flakes, but you can use regular chili flakes. That's what red pepper flakes. That's what I've always used. I just had these left over from the summer. Then we have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke and 1 tablespoon of honey. So let's go ahead and pour in the Worcestershire sauce and the Dale's. Let me turn y'all up just a little bit. The Dale's and the soy sauce. Let's keep it in the bag, Janet. Alrighty. Then we're going to put in the paprika, the chili pepper flakes. I keep saying chili. I guess technically it is a chili. Then the garlic powder or onion powder, one or the other. They're both the same measurement. Teaspoon. Oh good gracious, 2 teaspoons of ground pepper. Alright, the one thing I do need to measure out, well, one of the 2, is the liquid smoke, and I did shake it. Alrighty, and our honey. What y'all been up to today? I'm recording this on Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween, but I can still appreciate the creativity of others and some of the things they come up with. I don't like all the scary stuff, but I've been doing a little bit of cleaning today. I finally unpacked the bag from where I stayed with Mama. I had that bag packed forever because I knew the day was coming that I would have to go. So just like when you have a baby and you pack that bag, I packed one to stay with Mama, and I'm so glad I had that ready. So what we're going to do now that we have it all in there, make sure you got it good and sealed. And if you don't want to use a plastic bag, you can just use a bowl that seals and mix this up really well. And this recipe, if you want to adjust any of it, hey, it's your recipe, you go right ahead. So this will be our marinade. Now we need to cut up our meat. I'm going to open this up so that as we're cutting, we can drop the pieces of meat in here. And when you pick a meat for your jerky, it needs to be meat that does not have a lot of fat in it or on it. So I like to use the bottom round roast or a top round roast. That way you don't have to worry about all the fat in it, because the fat will go rancid very quickly. Now while I start slicing this, let's talk about the meat just a second. First thing, I like to do my meat partially frozen. It makes it easier to slice. And I do like to use a fillet knife. Now, let's talk about jerky. If you look online, some places will tell you to use, that's about how thin I like mine, about 1/4 inch, maybe a little thinner. But as I was saying, some places will tell you to use a cure, and some places say you don't need to. In fact, the book where I order my seasonings for sausage and jerky and whatnot, well, I don't do it for jerky, but it has it in there. Even that book is confusing. One place it says you need a cure, and another place it says it's not necessary. So you be the judge of that. With this recipe, I've never used a cure. I've never had a problem with it. It's the same recipe I've used for years, but I'm not telling you it's considered safe. I'm just showing you what I do. So you can use this with a cure if you want to, or you can use something totally different. It's all up to you and what is good for you in your kitchen. Thing about doing frozen meat, sometimes it's hard to get it even. I'm not going to bore you to pieces while I do this, but I will say that I'm going to take the big pieces and cut them in half to have slices about this size. Oh, and you do want to cut across the grain. That makes the jerky easier to chew when it's all dry. One thing I forgot to tell you about this marinade recipe, it is enough to do 2 to 3 pounds of meat. So, just wanted to give you that little tidbit of information in case you didn't blow up the recipe to see. These little pieces like this, I'm just going to leave this size. Right, so all we have to do now is just cut the pieces in half and drop them into the marinade. Everything is in the bag. Hands are washed. Now all you do is just mix this up super well. Make sure all the pieces are separated. And you've got the marinade down between each piece. And you're going to leave this in the refrigerator overnight or up to 24 hours. And every so often I just come back and give it a good mix again and just lay it in a different direction to make sure everything is good and coated. Because you don't want your jerky all flavorless. That's it. So I'm going to put it in the refrigerator until tomorrow. We'll see you then. Whew, y'all, I have been trying all day to get back to this video. Are y'all ready to finish our beef jerky? I had no intention whatsoever of leaving this for 24 hours, but here we are. Now, one thing I need to do, hold on. Need a pan, and I'm going to use this cookie cooling rack. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to take the beef jerky out of the bag, and I'm going to put it on this rack to let it drain a little bit, so that when we put it in the dehydrator, it's not all wet. So let's see what we've got going on here. And I'm so sorry. Well, I guess it hasn't been a long time for y'all, but it has been for me. It's been one of those days. I knew I needed to get this video done. Last night, my friend Mary requested a video for a pie crust. But y'all, my son had to go to the doctor. Well, we thought we were going to the doctor. He ended up at the dentist and said, oh, we don't need a spoon. He's got a cold, but he also got a really bad ulcer in his mouth, but we didn't know it was an ulcer. We thought something was going on with maybe his wisdom teeth. So that's what I've been doing today, and it took forever. But we had to go to a new dentist, and it was a neat little place. But it just took a while, and then we had to go get a prescription for the ulcer, and that took forever. But I'm home now, and we can finish this video. So what I'm going to do is just lay these pieces out, let all the excess drip off. These pieces on top really don't have a lot on them, but I'm gonna let them drain for just a minute, and then we're going to lay them on the dehydrator trays, and we'll turn that on, and it will go 4 to 6 hours or until the meat is done. And on my dehydrator, this is a new one to me, we will leave it for, we'll put the temperature on the highest temperature setting. So just use your settings for your dehydrator, whatever it says to do. And see, these pieces are already drained. So I'm just going to keep going, laying these out, and then we'll be back when we're ready to put them on the trays. Alrighty, y'all. Now we've got these pieces drained, so I'm going to go ahead and start laying them out on the trays. And when you do this, you want to leave space in between each piece of meat. Don't overlap them. That way the air can circulate well around each piece. And your goal is not to have them totally dry. You just want a lot of that excess marinade off of them. And we'll just keep going until we have the tray full. And we'll move to the next tray and keep going until all the meat is gone. All right, y'all, this is the last tray. We got 4 trays of meat. Let's go move these to the dehydrator. Here we go. She's ready for her maiden voyage. These little racks keep them spaced just right. Nope, I didn't get them even, but that's all right. Okay, let's turn it all the way up to 160. And nothing happens if you don't turn it on. I mean, it's turned on, but it won't do anything if you don't plug it in. Hold on. Okay, we got it plugged in. Let's try this again. There she goes. Now, I'm going to move this deer meat. We don't want it to get hot. Ooh, that's heavy. And we'll be back when this is done. Okay, it's been 4 hours. Let's check the jerky. I don't know. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if you can open this one while it's running. My husband likes it more done than this, but this is considered to be done. I think what I'm going to do is pull out some of the thinnest pieces and let the thicker pieces run for another hour and turn it off. Look, y'all. Doesn't it look amazing, y'all? It is 1:25 in the morning. I've got to be up at 7:30. I've got to get Jake to the dentist. What am I doing in this kitchen showing you beef jerky? Because I love y'all, and I love this jerky. That is a fatty piece that will go into the refrigerator and get eaten first. The rest I'm going to put into this jar. So I wanted to show you what it looked like before I got all that done. Oh, can y'all hear that, y'all? Yum. And let me say, I really like this dehydrator much better than my Nesco. I don't know what the difference is. And I don't know if Bill's gonna like the results. He liked my jerky really crunchy. I mean, I guess I could have left it in there and let it go longer, and eventually it would have gotten crunchy. But my goodness, y'all. I didn't want to overwork my motor. Is that even a thing? I don't know. I didn't want it to get too hot. Excuse me, too hot. So anyway, I went ahead and took it out. It's been long enough. I've got to go to sleep. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. You know I love it when y'all come and spend a few minutes with me. Honestly, to goodness, I do. It means a lot to me when you take time out of your day to come see me. Just hang out for a few minutes. So until we meet again, everybody, may you be blessed. Love you guys.